I mean no ill will to her, but the most difficult episode we ever done was Elle Brooke, because I don't think she didn't really find any of it funny. I don't think she understood what we were going for. So it was just genuinely awkward. And I mean, a lot of people love that episode because that's what they want.
That's your most viewed.
I know. And I kind of hate that because I don't think that's what the show is.
Oh, see, when I watched it, I thought it was good. I thought it worked because I thought she was playing up to not funny.
Maybe she was. Maybe she's a much better actress than her other films maybe make her.
Mate, going back to your stand-up, you often make jokes about your wife being fat, being ugly.
This is more in Finn versus the Internet.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily.
I've seen it on your I've seen you do it at your stand-up.
I did a special where there was like a little bit of that, just because I'd got married, and that's what I was talking about in the special.
Right.
And it just felt fun to kind of channel that old school, like, fucking crass shit that the 70s comedians used to say. But the character in Finn vs. the Internet has this sort of mystical wife who is, if you watch every episode, you would have this image of her as sort of vaguely industrial, quite animalistic, sort of like housebound, can't eat solids, mainly eats chum. Like it's pretty horrific, whatever
What does your wife think of these jokes? What does she think of you? First of all, what does she think of your stand-up?
Well, she finds me funny.
Oh, okay.
But she's also, I'd say, more outrageous than I am.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah. Like if the accents she attempts were ever done in a professional setting, she would never work again. So she's pretty out. She's got a very outrageous sense of humour, and so it's like in many ways she's kind of like, you know, dirtier and more problematic than I am. So no, I mean she understands what a joke is and stuff. So do you ever
get any? Because let's talk about Finn versus the Internet. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, so relatively new. Like what? Yeah. Two years. 2 years. You're on series 4 now. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not like a thing that's every week. It's like we do these. It's almost like TV. We do them in seasons where we put an episode out once every night for 3 or 4 months.
And you play a character.
Yeah.
And you interview people from the world of online and internet influencers, and Stevie and I have been on it basically. Yeah. It's so fucking funny. Me and Fee, I'll tell you now, Fee doesn't really laugh at comedians. I'll watch like the best stand-up set I think I've ever seen, and she won't really laugh at it. She loves this series.
Great.
Me and her watch it when we're in bed. Stevie and I have been on it. It's fucking weird, isn't it?
Well, this is great because I'm excited to be here. Well, I'm excited to be here, but I'm excited because I've never actually like debriefed properly with guests about what it's like for them. Because it must be fucking, especially when you did it, because you didn't really.
I wasn't allowed to talk, really, was I?
And he didn't know what it was.
No, but I don't know even how much you knew what it was, because that was the second series where we'd only had like one series that was, you know, it's very kind of nowhere near. Like good. I mean, the production values were lower than Al Qaeda's. Like it looks bad. If you watch it now, it looks insane now. But it was still very new.
Yeah.
And I'd say your episode was actually probably where we found our like groove, and that was the first one we put out, series 2. And I think a lot of people found the show with your episode. Right. So I'm always very grateful for you for doing it.
Oh, I loved it.
I enjoyed it. And like, luckily, because I'm so used to that here anyway, because you just take the piss out of me all the time. Like, I mean, our stage show was basically them just calling me a nonce on stage constantly. So I'm all right with that. Yeah. But it was strange. I was just eating chicken out of your hand.
Well, he's got another.
Obviously, you've still got some raw chicken knocking under the desk.
Well, the reason we went on is because
we've never actually spoken about it.
Yeah, is because our friend and co-host Robbie Knox absolutely loves you. Yeah. Says you're his favourite comedian.
I remember being at Robbie's house and Robbie was like, oh, watch this, and just showed me one of your like Instagram reels of you on stage. I was like, this guy's so funny.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, because I think I told you before we started recording that I found you through the NFL thing that you did, which we'll talk about, but I think Robbie showed me that. So anyway, I messaged you and was like, can you get Robbie on your series, Finn vs. the Internet? Yeah. And you responded saying it'd be funnier
It'd be funny if everyone on this podcast except Robbie got. Because is there another guy? There's a guy called Alfie.
Alfie, yeah.
So I don't know.
He wasn't on it at that point. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I was just thought it'd be funny. Just I mean, that's just how I am. I feel bad now because I think Robbie's the nicest guy, and I've done his other podcast. Yeah. He always comes to my shows.
Still haven't invited him on.
No, but that's because it's quite. I just think it's funny for someone. Yeah. But also, there is a bit where it's like, if you're a massive fan of the show, I don't know how it would work being on the show, because there has to be an element of discomfort and not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
And, do you know what I mean? Especially nowadays, where we're at now.
If the guest plays into it too much, it's
I don't know how it would work.
Yeah.
So
a lot of the awkwardness makes it.
Yeah, you need elements of kind of like discomfort and stuff. So, but
how would you describe the series to anyone out there who hasn't seen it? Because we plug a lot of stuff on this show, but this is genuinely 100% something you guys should go and check out. If not just our episode, Stevie, because it's super funny, and I think those who get it will love it.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not for everyone. It's so. I guess it's very similar in tone to like Ali G and the Eric Andre show and
Between Two Ferns bit.
Yeah, well, it always gets compared to that, but I think that's basically just because there are two people in chair. It's set up the same way.
Okay,
so if you see a clip of it, you're like, oh, it's Between Two Ferns. But actually, like, I'm a character, and there's a whole. Most of the comedy is becoming from my like insane misunderstanding of what the internet is, what people do on the internet, my supposed origin story for this podcast, all that, all that stuff. So it's actually much more of a character, but I think it's probably closest to like Ali G kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, the guest is basically a sort of prop for me to sort of wreak havoc with. And I guess the comedy, or maybe the jeopardy comes from like, I'm saying a lot of wild shit. I mean, you've been in an actual studio. Your episode's like 9 minutes long or something.
Mm-hmm.
We were with you for an hour and 10.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of wild shit that went in that room that didn't go in the. I'm saying anything.
Never leaves the room.
I'm saying fucking anything in that room because I get to control what goes out. So if I don't think we put it off, I don't put it out.
Right.
So part of the jeopardy comes from, how do you guys cope with a guy that just seems to, like, much like the Joker in Batman, just doesn't seem to care about any potential consequences of anything.
Loves the chaos of it.
Loves the chaos with it. And so you want that kind of like, do you know, like, I think part of the reason your episode is so good is that your reactions are clearly, you're laughing because you find it funny, but you know that there is a problem of the fact you're on camera laughing.
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't allowed to laugh at things.
That's kind of what you want. Like, I'd say one of the most, and I've said this before, I mean no ill will to her, but the most difficult episode we ever done was Elle Brooke, because I don't think, she didn't really find any of it funny. I don't think she understood what we were going for. So it was just genuinely awkward. And I mean, a lot of people love that episode because that's what they want.
That's your most viewed.
I know. And I kind of hate that because I don't think that's what the show is.
Oh, see, when I watched it, I thought it was good. I thought it worked because I thought she was playing up to not funny.
Maybe she was. Maybe she's a much better actress than her other films. Maybe make her. But yeah, fair. Maybe I'm doing her a massive disservice. But
what was it like shooting that when she got there and when she left? What was?
Well, that was a weird one because series 3 we made like 4 episodes in 2 days, and it was like, at that point we'd had a bit more money come in, so we were like in a proper green screen studio because you were above a pub. It was like
we're in
a
tiny little room.
It's like half the size of this.
Yeah.
And somehow it looks fairly decent. But we were now in a studio. We had like space. We could do more physical stuff. And we recorded these great 4 episodes in 2 days. And then we were meant to record 2 more the next few days later. But then Elle got called to do a fight. And her contract says she has to just go and do it.
Yeah.
So we had to rearrange. Then I had to rearrange that date because my wife went into labour and my son was born. So like only about 6 weeks after were in the zone could we actually get these last 2 episodes.
Right.
So it was all a bit kind of like, just like, you know what I mean? It wasn't, we weren't in the flow of it.
Yeah.
And I was obviously very sleep deprived. And then Elle comes in, maybe she played a fucking blinder, who knows? But it was, there was just I just remember a lot of silence in that recording, more than normal.
Must take a lot to make you feel awkward. in that room.
Yeah.
How was
That's
that?
your
How's
job.
How's she leaving?
Oh, it was fine. It's just, no, that was, it was fun. Yeah, you know. It's like, do you know what I mean? Just, I think for her it's just a podcast, and who gives a...
Yeah.
She clearly doesn't really care that much about, you know, videos of her online. so I think she's fine about stuff being out there. Well, so, you know, you can't really...
Do you never find it awkward doing that character? Because you are doing it in front of people you've just met for the first time.
Yeah, but there's also what people don't maybe not realise. It's not just me and you in the room. There's there's Horatio and Vittorio who I make the show with.
Yeah.
And now we have a crew of like the series we just shot, 9 of us.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's becoming it's becoming a much bigger thing, and I think the whole crew laughter really makes the show what it is, because it's like naughty schoolboys, and it just maybe just softens some of the jokes But then I think that helps the guests, because they realise that it's sort of like a small gig almost. It's like a live roast in some way. And but yeah, to get back to your question about what actually the show is, it's basically I'm in character as someone who doesn't really understand the internet and people who are big on it, and I'm trying to understand, and by doing that I'm basically being very dismissive and outrageous and sort of roasting them for like whatever 15-20 minutes.
How do you decide what you cut out? Because you keep in a lot of provocative stuff. So.
I remember being there, and when we were leaving, thinking, surely a lot of that's getting cut.
But it did, but not the bits you thought were going to get cut.
Yeah. Like the car wash stuff I thought would get cut, and then it didn't.
Do you know what people still message me when I say I'm announcing a show? They're like, "Oh, is Brenda going to be? Is Brenda going to be there?" Do you know what? It's just feeling. I feel when I'm in, because I do the first edit.
Okay.
So I lock in what the actual content is, and then Pete Wells, who's an absolute genius, who this series has, we were in a green screen studio and he's built a digital set. Like it's unbelievable what he does.
Right.
I mean, he's beyond genius what he's capable of. He basically makes it look amazing and does the multicam and stuff. So when I'm doing that content edit, I'm just thinking, have we pulled this idea off? Like, is it funny enough to justify any like backlash? And I guess I don't know what I'm really basing that on, other than like the crew laughter, what the guest's doing, whether the take is good enough, the rhythm of it. I don't know. It's kind of a feeling I get whether we. And I felt we pulled that Brenda thing. I felt it was such ludicrous piss take of the idea of like, oh, you can't go into work every day as someone you're not. That I feel like we justified it, so that's why I kept it in.
Have you had any backlash from any of your episodes?
Well, I mean, the clips always get like people arguing in the clips, but I think any
That's
clip,
the internet. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think the episodes, because the episodes haven't popped on YouTube the way the clips have. Mm-hmm. So my goal is to try and get the YouTube to pop more, because we're making a 20-minute show, and I want the people to watch the show, and I realise everyone just watches clips now anyway. But no, could it still like it's sort of 50, 70, 100k views. It's mainly people who are really into it, they're watching it, and every now and then there's someone like, what the fuck is this? Stumble upon it. But maybe if it gets bigger there'll be more backlash. I don't know. But
are you afraid of being cancelled?
Well, not really. I sort of have been. I had this. Have I Got News for You in, would it be 2019? I said something about Jeremy Corbyn, and then basically his lot went for me on Twitter, and I was like trending on Twitter, and my agent got like rape threats and death threats.
What?
And it was like mad. The production company got a bomb threat. It was all crazy. So I've already been through that, and it does just die down.
Right.
And I think nowadays, because that's like you're on mainstream telly and then someone sees a joke about their guy and they get angry. Whereas now it's like you have to find, particularly on YouTube, if you're watching 20 minutes, you have to, the algorithm can only do so much. You've got to find it, then stay with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're all being pushed into where we want to go almost by technology. So I feel like people that are really into it.
I think some comedians can push it further, can't they? I think that's such an obvious thing to say, but like we probably can be a bit overly cautious.
Yeah, we're probably too cautious, but we don't necessarily say things that would offend people anyway, because we don't feel that way about things. But there are times where we've cut stuff going, do we even need to cut that?
No, but I think that there's some things that like some opinions that I have that I wouldn't share online.
But it's
I think everyone's got that.
It's
though.
different if it's an opinion versus it's me as a character in a comedy show.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's no. It's all a game. It's all pretend.
Yeah.
But if you're on a podcast and you say something that you think,
Yeah.
and then everyone reacts to that, that's kind of. I mean, that can be a problem because you are speaking seriously.
Yeah.
Like now I'm speaking seriously.
Right.
When I'm on stage or I'm doing the show, there's no seriousness at all.
Yeah.
You know.
We've done 2 stage shows, haven't we?
Yep.
Do you want to
Yeah.
tell Finn our tour names?
How was your tour? You've been on tour this year.
Yes, yeah, it was good fun. Just love it. We did a roast battle live where we just roast each other.
We're also in that bracket though that you spoke about earlier on, where our audience are coming to see us. So 95% of that audience are already on our side.
Yeah.
I can just call him a paedophile. And
Yeah.
That's a good night out.
You could anyway. Yeah, honestly, like the biggest laughs are the shit stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of it about you being sexually abused when you was younger, which did happen.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
So this is another thing I was going to bring up. In the
here we go.
episode.
Yeah, ask him anything.
No, because so we wrote this joke, which was you were on Diary of a CEO,
Yeah.
and you were on Diary of a PEdo.
Yeah.
We wrote that because it was a funny joke.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the comments was like, "Oh my god, did they know about Stevie as a kid?" I was like, "What?" And then I so I didn't know that until now. I kind of guessed maybe that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Did you think that was like a laser guided missile?
No, because we got this. I don't really.
How was you not?
It was not intended.
No, because like I'm so used to it on here.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
it's such a weird thing that they repeatedly call me a nonce.
Yeah.
Knowing I was literally
Well, I mean,
non-stop.
yeah, but that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so funny
One day.
though. It's so weird. Like the internet is weird because like you used to be a lot fatter, didn't you?
Yeah.
And, like if ever I made like a slightly like you're a bit chubby,
Yeah.
like people on Reddit would go in, and it's like, do you not realise every week I'm taking the piss out of him getting molested as a child?
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
don't.
That's fine.
They don't.
Fine.
Yeah. We always say about how much you hate watching the show Neighbours, and just got loads of stuff like that.
It was
Really-
a guy I lived right next
Yeah, it
to.
was his neighbour that molested him. So
Oh, I see, right.
yeah, close to home.
Good times. So weird. We went for food before one of the shows. When we went to Exeter, we went for food for with David Earl before the
yeah,
show,
yeah, I fucking
and he
love
just
David.
was asking me loads about. We were just in this restaurant eating food, and he's going,
Just tell me.
tell me everything.
Where did he touch you? How did he gain your trust? Can I talk to this guy? Yeah.
It's strange. He got away with it as well. So
But I wanted to stress that we wrote the joke not knowing any of that.
I'm so used to
But
it.
we
It's fine.
probably would have said it anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's a great joke.
And I'd want that.
It's a great joke.
I want that to be the way.
Just for people who are commenting, we didn't know.